Live from the Export Beer Garden studio, this is the agenda for Thursday, the 1st of February 2024.
The Agenda, an alternative commentary collective podcast.
I just want to start the podcast with a little posture check because now that we're sitting in these seats, the posture can really start to slip.
Yeah, I've got terrible posture.
And this is something for you at home as well, wherever you're listening to this. If you're driving, just adjust the posture a little bit. It's important to have
shoulders back.
Shoulders back, just
titties out.
Titties out, straighten that back up.
Yeah. Hey, good big day today, Manaia.
Yes, why?
And not only is it the 1st of February, pinching a punch for the 1st of the month.
Leap year.
The motherfuckers are back at school.
Oh, congratulations.
Yow!
Congratulations to you. Congratulations to parents worldwide.
There's some punishers, though, that aren't opening school until after Waitangi Day, which is next Wednesday. So those suckers, suck it.
Fuck that. Yeah, there's been a lot of like creches set up at workplaces around the country this
sucks,
week.
Man. Like no one briefs you when you're a parent. Yeah. You get a lot of stuff about keeping the baby alive and cot death and the traumatic birth and everything like that. And you go through that.
Yeah.
No one briefs you on school holidays. Okay, because you get 4 weeks a year. That's the law. 4 weeks holiday. That's as a working adult. As a working adult, you get 4 weeks a year. They give the kids 12.
Yeah.
And then they say, good luck with that. Yeah. And then you're left trying to deal with these animals for 12 weeks, well, actually 8 weeks, because you've got to take your own holidays to look after your own punishers.
Yes.
So you don't get a holiday.
No.
So anyway, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm digressing. But there needs to be some sort of clinic. Before you think about having kids out there, just bear in mind you won't have a life.
Could you imagine?
Once they're at school.
Could you imagine, I don't know at what point that person would pop up. I imagine them like the Tooth Fairy just popping up at the moment of conception. Just like, hey, just before you do this.
Do you want a holiday ever again?
And then they just explain to you the myriad of issues that you're going to have once they reach, because you're right, everybody thinks about the first couple of weeks, but once they reach school age.
Oh, yeah. No one briefs you on that. And the fact that you are just constantly juggling. I mean, the first 2 or 3 years, you got to keep them alive. Yeah, it's quite stressful, whatever. But then they really start to encroach on your own personal life.
Then they start picking up sports.
Yeah, and then you got to drive them everywhere. Look, don't get me started. Okay, look, bring on 18. Okay.
Yeah.
Bring on the empty nest.
I think that's why basketball's growing in popularity, because people have realised, parents in particular, it's not a full day of your weekend that you have to give up. It's midweek.
Yeah.
You just show up. You're there for about an hour tops.
Yeah, it is not an NBA game. The last quarter doesn't go on for an hour.
No. It's running clock.
Oh, yeah, they're running clock. They bang it out.
Yeah.
I mean, you are paying the price in terms of shoes.
Yeah.
And gear.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm happy to pay that price to get my life back.
Inside, rain, hail or shine, it's on, it's done.
Okay, that's my rant done.
It's a Wednesday night. All right, let's get into some actual sporting news then. In the National Rugby League, Peter V'landys, who is still the boss of the Australian Rugby League.
He's famous for bringing rugby league back during COVID.
Yes.
And saying Australia without rugby league is not Australia.
Yes.
Yep.
And the same thing that makes him so great for the sport makes him so punishing for people in general. Because he's come out this, just yesterday, we were talking about Wayne Bennett, who's formerly applied for the Kiwis job.
Yeah.
And Peter V'landys has come out and said, I don't know why Wayne wants to get on a loser, he said. He's normally a winning coach. Why would he want to go and coach against Australia? The last time the two met, the Kiwis inflicted a 30-0 loss on the Aussies.
I did enjoy New Zealand Rugby League reposted that with just 30-0 as the comment. Look, it's an interesting take, given New Zealand's contribution to the NRL, which is significant, not just through the Warriors, obviously, but through just about every NRL team.
Yeah.
It's a pretty dipshit thing to say. But you love him, mate.
I do, yeah. He's so rugby league. I mean, he's come from horse racing. That's his background. Is he pretty much, he like geo-blocked all of the gambling websites in Australia so that they made so much more money. It's part of why racing's having a massive resurgence over there. It's starting to dribble in over here as well.
Yeah, there's plenty of cash coming in.
Plenty of cash coming in. And he was instrumental in that. And then, like you say, through the lockdown thing, it was the only thing that kept me sane, was watching these guys play rugby league. And when no other sport was going on. But you have to be a bit of a cunt to pull that kind of thing off.
Oh, yeah, and he's proven it. He's proven it.
And so those kind of things will happen. But yeah, I just thought that was very interesting.
Bring on Wayno. Give him a New Zealand citizenship. Get him out of here.
Knight him.
Yeah, it's just straight away, before any results.
Yeah.
Sir Wayno.
We probably can't pay you as much as Australia can.
But we can give you a knighthood. We can give you an honour.
Yeah.
Maybe a place out in Pauanui. No.
Pawanui is expensive these days.
Whitianga?
Yeah, Timaru.
Yeah, Tim is hard.
Yeah,
Okay.
Fitty City might do it. On to some rugby. The All Blacks schedule's been announced, 14 games.
Yeah, look, it's a significant year.
Yeah.
Welcome to the boardroom, Razor Robinson.
Yes, he's got plenty on. So England are coming here to start off our international window. Then we're going to Fiji we're going to San Diego for a one-off game against Fiji.
Yeah.
I love these American games.
It's a ching-chinger, isn't it?
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
And it'll be good for the game if we can get America to start taking rugby a bit more seriously. But what I love when they play over in America is obviously they don't fly over our team to cover the games. Like commentators,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
But the cameramen are American and they cannot keep up. They can never keep up with the constant pace of play.
Yeah.
Because in NFL, you start, you stop, you start, you stop. But in rugby, the ball's just constantly in play. It never stops. And these guys, so often, the camera's just nowhere near where the ball is.
Yeah, I've noticed that. What was the game? The game against Ireland.
Chicago?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was all over the place. I'd punt it, and
Yeah.
then the ball would disappear, and then the line out would start, and you could see the camera come in across and try and go into focus.
Yeah. And they're like, wait, hang on, where the fuck that? What? Yeah. So that's that cracks me up. Then the Rugby Championship kicks in full force around June, July. We've got 2 games over in South Africa, which I don't think we played in South Africa last year.
Yeah, we played. We play in Joburg and Cape Town.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we got 2 Argentinian games in New Zealand as well.
Yep.
And a couple of Aussie games.
Yep.
No games in Christchurch, I saw. It's all in
is that right?
Dunedin, Wellington, and Auckland, I believe.
So I wonder if they're binning that because the new stadium's still a while away, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Orange Cherry Stadium's just not really.
No, it's not. It's not
great.
Is it still
advertisement
called
for the
Orange
country.
Cherry? I think it's called something else now. I saw the Foo Fighters played there, and it's called something else. I don't know. I can't remember. But it's a big season, and then they go to England. Oh, they
Yes.
go to Europe. Sorry.
Yeah. So the Northern Hemisphere tour, obviously they have their obligatory stop
Yeah.
in Japan, which must be the best trip to be on. As an
It
All
is a
Black.
great trip to go on. I think we should get on it. They're playing in
Yes.
Yokohama. And it is a great time, Japan. Like, flag the European one. That's too expensive.
No.
Just head over there to the Yokohama game. High impact. Head back. You've done it.
I'm a big fan of that idea. But yeah, then the Northern Hemisphere tour, you're doing your Irelands, your Englands, your Sunny Wales,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
I don't think we
So
play
it's gonna be
Wales.
big.
I
We're
think
not
we
playing Sunny
play
Wales.
Wales. We play England, France, Ireland, and Italy.
Oh, Italy.
Yeah, so Italy have replaced Wales.
Wales.
But still, that's a pretty hectic 3 weeks.
Yes,
when
it
you've got
is.
England, France, and Ireland.
Yeah, Scotland can't get a go.
Nah.
They've been pretty decent lately. So yeah, I'm starting to round into being excited about rugby again and league because I was so done with it at the end of the seasons last year.
That's what it does to you, though, eh?
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good hiatus.
I'm ready to be hurt again. but you need it to. You need that little break where you just don't think about it because for us here at the ACC, it's the content sausage factory.
Oh, yeah.
We're in the midst of trying to clean out the secondary studio because there's going to be a point where there's a rugby game, a league game, and a cricket game on at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
And it gets absolutely madness. But yeah, we are in an abusive relationship with sport, and I am, like I said, I'm ready to be hurt again.
But I'm pretty pumped about the Razor era as well.
Yeah.
Of the Razor Ray, because I'm really excited about to see what he brings to the table, not just on the field, but off the field.
Oh.
Press conferences. I'd go to a press conference now. Not
Yes.
that we're invited, but I would go to one.
Steve Hansen press conferences didn't do it for you?
Yeah, well, there you go. No, they didn't.
We got some pretty good players on our side of the team too. Yeah, no, I didn't like those ones. Even Ian Foster was pretty boring.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was cut from the same cloth.
It's a good shake up as well in the year after the World Cup. I always loved the year after the World Cup. The All Blacks team's completely different. They change it up a lot.
Yeah.
It's just a bit, because in the 2 years leading up to the World Cup, it's so rigid. It's the same team every year, every week. They're trying to figure out who the best players are, and now you can really a bit of license to get creative.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we see some interesting shit.
Yeah, totally. We got Leon McDonald's part of the setup as well.
Yeah.
Did you see him at the Black Clash?
Yes,
He is in great nick.
he's the only guy on Team Rugby who could actually bowl.
He's in great nick, though, as well. He looks in better nick than when he was playing. So it's funny how some players go that way and some players go the other.
Some players go Leon McDonald. Some players go
Smitty?
George Smith. All right. I was scouring the news this morning, and this happens to us quite often, that something that we talked about on the podcast a while ago gets regurgitated in the mainstream media, and that has happened again today. So it is my pleasure to bring to you one of my favourite segments that we do on this show, the Hot Take Time Machine.
Must be some kind of Hot take. Time machine.
It's the worst edit ever.
What do you mean? Craig Robinson, I paid him and he literally said that.
Take.
So the headline this morning in the New Zealand Herald read, free-to-air cricket in New Zealand, a lesson for declining viewership in sports broadcasts. And that really rung a bell with me. I was like,
We've been banging on that for a while, haven't we?
where have I heard that before? Well, funnily enough, I've heard it on this very podcast. I do feel like cricket being back on TV has a big part to play in this.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's made such a huge difference. I think if it stays on free to air for a long time, it'll start getting bigger and bigger and the games will start selling out.
It's, I think, the formula for success for Super Rugby as well.
Was that pretty much the crux of the article?
That's exactly what the article was, yeah. It was basically just saying, man, it's great that everyone's getting back into cricket now because you can actually see it.
Yeah, there is no coincidence.
No. We've been predicting the news for the longest time. And but again, like we keep saying, it'll never happen because Sky pays too much for the rights. So they wouldn't let it happen.
I guess it's New Zealand cricket's call.
I mean, for
TV
rugby.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, both sides of the thing I get is New Zealand Rugby's call as well, I guess, when the rights are up. But since rugby have a stake in Sky TV now, it's kind of, I don't know how that works. But, yeah, New Zealand cricket will have a big decision to make because they've got one more year of TVNZ coverage.
Is this the hangover from their Spark deal?
Yes.
Right.
So, and TVNZ have picked up the last, I think, couple of years of that contract. It'll be interesting to see what they do after that because I think that article and what we talked about is bang on. And you wait, that Aussie series is going to be huge. Those 3 T20s. Yeah. You got, I think it's the Hamilton one, that'll sell out.
Yep.
Then you got 2 games in Auckland, 40,000 people. How epic would it be if you had 80,000 people watching cricket over that weekend against Aussie? Aussie will send a good team. Warren will be there. You can get stuck into him. Yeah. Stick the caravan back at Eden Park. Get into the East Stand. Bring back the East Stand. The East Stand is the old terraces. Yeah, we'll do the East Stand takeover. Give everyone sports ears instead of the ship hats, and just go full old school in that on that terrace. The terrace is where my formal years as a 10, 11, 12-year-old going, fuck, I love this game. Yeah. This is madness. There's a guy throwing a snapper in the air, a gutted snapper in the Mexican wave. Yeah. It's madness. There's people like having fun. There's people chanting. There's a wasted guy asleep. You know, it was part of me was like, I want this game to be part of my life for a very long time. Yeah. And I want that to be my 11-year-old to go along and go, this place is wild, and do something. So that's our goal in that Aussie series, by hook or by crook, is to bring back the vibe to that East Stand, to that terrace end. At Eden Park. It's a 7 o'clock game on the Friday, the 23rd, I believe, and then there's a 1 p.m. on Sunday. So go hard Friday night, recover Saturday, and then a Sunday sesh at 1 o'clock. Get onto the tickets now. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can buy tickets. I'm sure you can, but I would get onto them pretty quick. Yeah, because like you say, the Basin Test or first 4 days are sold out. Yeah. Day 5 won't sell out because why the hell would you buy? No, they don't sell tickets for day 5. Yeah. I think that's a free entry on day 5 for most games. But you're right, because why couldn't, and I do think that we can make that happen for cricket, the momentum that it's got going at the moment. But like you say, when I was a kid, same thing. I was at Jade Stadium back in the day watching the Crusaders play and the horses come out and trotting around and everyone's wasted again. They had terraces on the one side and it was wild and it was so exciting. You had your bring a kid to footy pack and you know, I'd read through my little booklet how tall's Ron Cribb? How heavy is he? Hey, also just on that, it just reminded me, I tried to play top trumps with my 7-year-old son and my 9-year-old daughter with the Weet-Bix cards. And they've been collecting them for about 3 years now, the Weet-Bix cards. So we've got a good stack of them. So it's a good, and there's lots of things. But there's one stat missing, which has messed with our whole top trumps with the Weet-Bix cards, because they've got now bought the female players in, female rugby players. Except for Ruby Tui. They don't have their weight. So all the male players have their weight from past years gone by. Yes. So it's like, all the props are like 125 kgs, Belated like 119. Yeah. And then you always, as soon as you get in, you go, go wait, and you throw it down. But then you pick up a female player and you're like, Chelsea kind of Brunner, and you're like, and someone else has picked weight. I can't match that. I got no weight on my one. Chelsea Brunner has no weight. Yeah. Weightless. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Yeah. In the name of equality. In the name of equality, there's no, on the stats on the Weet-Bix stats cards. Yeah. Yeah, so
put their weight on.
The black ferns don't have a stat. There's a stat missing, and I know, and we know why, because they don't want to. I don't know whether
body
it's
shame.
body shame.
No, it's such a weird one for athletes.
But for athletes, that's part of your stats.
Yes, yeah.
But it's okay for all the dudes to have 130 kg, 128 kg.
That's
props.
right, yeah. But we don't think lesser of Carl Tuanukuafe because he's 130 kilos.
Totally.
That is advantageous for his profession.
So just throwing it out there.
In the name of equality.
We know why.
Sanitarium.
We know why they've done it, and I know why there's probably been discussions in the comms team, endless, along with Ruby Tui's demands.
Yes.
She probably demanded that they have their weight as well.
I don't think many of them would give a shit.
No. So anyway, there you go. Just throwing it out there.
They're professional athletes. All right. In the interest of making this podcast 5% better every day, as we try to do so often, we've got a new segment, Lane. And on your rundown, I've even just written new segments.
Yeah,
so
I'm
you
excited.
don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with a brand spanking new segment.
What a tease.
All right, Lane. So as I mentioned before the break, we have a brand spanking new segment that I'd like to debut. And as we often do on this podcast, we like to just rip off ideas from every other sports show that we've ever seen in our lives.
Well, isn't that what everyone's doing?
There are no new ideas.
No.
Anyway, so this is a very simple segment that you would have seen on almost every sports, like ESPN sports show.
Yeah.
And it's basically, are you in or out? Are you up or down? Are you buying or selling?
Okay.
On this topic.
Okay.
So I'd like to present to you spit or swallow. 21-year-old Shoaib Bashir only touched down in India at the weekend with his arrival delayed by visa issues due to his Pakistani heritage, but is already under consideration to make an unprecedented 5-pronged spin unit alongside Hartley, Jack Leach, Ahmed and Joe Root. Baz said he comes into the calculations. If the wickets continue to spin as much as we saw in the first test, as the series go on, we won't be afraid to play all spinners. A 5-spinner bowling attack, Lane. Are you spitting or swallowing?
I'm swallowing. I'm swallowing. Do you know why I'm swallowing? I'm swallowing because I'm like, India, suck on that. You can't be producing like these turners and expecting touring teams to be gullible enough to go, oh, no, mate, we're still going to bowl 3 seamers. I'm just going to have maybe 2 spinners.
Yeah.
Where Baz has gone, you know what, India, we're going to bowl 5 spinners and we're going to go full Razzie Erasmus with the bomb squad coming off the bench. We're going to go, we only need 1 bowler, a fast bowler maybe with the new ball with a bit of shine, and the rest of it we're going to... So I'm swallowing hard.
Yeah.
You just love the fact that there's sound effects and me saying I'm swallowing.
Yeah, I think
that's good. I like the segment. It's good.
We had to scour the internet to try and find sound effects, and we've set off a couple of red flags of technical, so we're going to have to negotiate that. I was wondering if we might need to get some sort of subscription to a certain service on a company credit card to try and find the sound effects.
Well, on that, we just shot a video this morning for Hallensteins, because Hallensteins have come on board to supply all our kit now, and they've got great kit. They've got NFL supporters kit, Warriors supporters kit, and good suits as well. So they're redoing our wardrobe, and part of the video had certain photos in it. And there was one with an 8-ball and a GIMP mask, and you had to search probably quite deep in the archives for that as well.
Yeah, I really did.
So there's probably a lot of red flags going on at IT at the moment.
Yeah, my only hope is because we had to get around the firewall at work for gambling because I have to place bets for the TAB.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that that's bypassed the firewall entirely for me and that I don't show up on, because I know they do, or at least they used to pull a porn report for anybody who used their work computer for anything personal.
Report. The porn report was one of the greats.
Yeah. All right. When you listen to this podcast on the iHeartRadio app, you have an opportunity to send in a message by pressing the little talkback feature or function.
Yep.
It's the microphone button there. And when you do that, we will play them in a segment we like to call Yours Please.
Yours Please. Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
We've got one that came in overnight, Lane.
Yep.
Call it Yours Please.
Yeah, g'day fellas. It's Horatio Ringbond here from Masterton. Just listened to your podcast about the Karaka Millions, and you mentioned something about maybe starting your own syndicate up for a horse. I'm in big time. So yeah, I'll keep tuned in, and if things progress, I'll be in, buddy.
Great work, Horatio Ringbinder. Well, I've had a lot of feedback around the horse syndicate, so I think we're going to look into that. We're thinking about going maybe just getting stuck in and actually buying a horse at the ready to race sales that happen at the end of the year.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and then we can go straight into it.
Also, people will rear these horses and then sell them
Ready to race. You got
ready to go, right.
Yeah, because you got the Karaka sales, which
Yes.
is like foals, like the real young.
Yeah.
And that's a long game. I don't think we're quite ready for a long game. I'm
No.
keen for a ready to race. So
And I feel like you kind of need to be like a stud or something to buy them. You know?
yeah, you need to kind of know the background and the breeding lines, which we don't really. We want to go ready to race. We want a horse. We want to call it steady the ship. And we want to get it in a race,
Yeah.
get to the races, and go nuts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll stay. We'll keep you updated on that, Horatio, and let you know.
Yeah. All right. I want to mop up a couple of quick stories from the day's headlines. And then, because we didn't do it yesterday, we've had a listener submitted half-baked sports idea, so
Yep.
we'll get to that in a second. But a monkey has escaped from a wildlife park in Scotland. Have you seen this story?
No.
2 days ago it escaped and has been spotted. They've been searching for it again as efforts to recapture him continue. Thermal imaging drones are being used in the hunt for the monkey, which found a way out of its enclosure at Highland Wildlife Park. People in the area are being urged to bring in any food that is stored outside to encourage the monkey to return to the park when it gets hungry, and have been advised not to approach the animal. It's a macaque. It's like the ones that hang out in the hot tubs in Japan.
Yep.
And it is just patrolling. I watched the footage of it last night, like just scurrying around the hillsides in Scotland.
I was wondering, because I'm glad you clarified that it's the ones in the hot pools with the snow on them.
This isn't a gorilla or a chimp.
No, because I was thinking that they're not too good in the cold, most monkeys.
Oh, no, these ones are
But that one you got there, he's going to be at home in Scotland.
Yes.
He's going to be like, I can deal with this freezing cold temperatures, because it's coming into, well, it's coming out of winter, I guess, at the moment in Scotland.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty,
Oh, it's probably peak winter.
pretty freezing cold.
Yeah, well, it's 1st of February, so I reckon it's still very fucking cold over there.
I'm surprised they haven't shot it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, because they've got a few different clips of it running from bush to bush. It's in this like rural area, so
Not known to attack people, though, really, are they?
no. And they said you'd be fine. Like, it's not gonna, it wouldn't probably harm a person.
Well, don't shoot it then.
Maybe, yeah. I think that's probably why they're not doing it, because it would be very traumatic for them to just explode a monkey's brain in the backyard of someone's house when it wasn't really a threat.
And
Like,
the chances now of someone capturing that live on their phone as well is far too high.
through the roof.
I mean, back in the day, back in pre-mobile phones, it would have blown its head off in a flash.
Yeah, 100%. They would have lit that thing up like a Christmas tree, but now they can't. And basically their plan is, like I said in the story just then, starve it out, and when it gets hungry, it's eventually going to come back to where it knows that
Where's
there's food.
food?
So they're like, don't feed it, don't bring in any of your food.
Yeah, I'd feed it.
Fucking hell, I would. If I lived out there, I'd have a full thing of bananas, a bunch of bananas in my backyard, and a phone on a trap just waiting to film it when it can.
Waiting to get some leverage on social media when it comes to your backyard.
Yeah, 100%. On a related and personal animal note, I had a gift that was given to me for Christmas, repurposed just yesterday. I got one of those massage guns.
Oh, yeah.
Vibrate your body.
Yeah.
Yeah, the in-laws got me one of those. Tremendous. Got home from work yesterday, found out the missus had taken it in. She's a zookeeper. She used it on one of the rhinos. They had a procedure on it where it had to lie down for a long period, and they were like, I don't know.
It's blood flow. What do you mean, keeping the blood flow going? See, your missus is out there. You might as well have got a jackhammer for a rhino.
For a
'cause I
rhino.
don't think you would have felt that.
Yeah, so he had no blood, to promote blood flow in his legs. She's out there with my massage gun, and she's brought it back in. The thing's covered in fucking dirt. It's like one of the attachments is worn out because it's like soft rubber, and it's just been on the leather of a rhino's leg. And I come back and like,
that's
okay,
good. That's good. Oh, I hope that's on Zoo Tales on YouTube.
Yeah, I think it will be. And if it's not, then you didn't hear that story on this podcast. And the most welcoming regions in the world, Lane, have been announced, and New Zealand has one of them.
Sorry, what? So just clarify, what are we talking about here? What makes you? So there's some sort of research has gone out to announce the most welcoming regions of the world.
It's like when they do these always come out in December. What's the happiest country in the world? It's always some sort of Nordic country, Scandinavian country. And now they've gone out and done who's the most welcoming, who's the most friendly region around the world. And
But who's judging this?
yeah, well, it's a survey. And so this is the issue. So I feel like, because I talked to my barber was actually from Finland yesterday.
Yeah.
And they said that actually people in Finland don't like to be seen to complain. So they might not be happy, but if you ask them, they'll say they are because they don't want to be seen to be whinging.
Yeah, right.
So I just wonder if maybe these things, you know, when they come out and say this is the happiest place on earth, I just think that maybe it's because...
But I mean, when you say most welcoming, you're obviously surveying tourists.
I presume so, yes.
So, yeah. Okay.
Well, I'll read you through some of the ones.
Okay.
Perthshire, which is in the UK.
Never been there.
Never been there either. Penghu, Taiwan.
Okay. Never thought of going there.
Colombia, Trentino, which is in Italy. Chile, Irongo in Namibia. And then Otago in New Zealand. Which if you had to ask me where the most welcoming places in New Zealand were, I don't know if Otago would have been.
No.
Canterbury would have been at the bottom, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Sure.
Actually, no, Auckland would have been. But then, yeah, I don't know. Otago. Do you think of Otago as a welcoming region?
I suppose, because they're always quite appreciative. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, you actually made your way down. You actually went out of your way to come here. I know you could have gone to Queenstown. You could have gone to Christchurch. You could have gone to Nelson, Wellington, Taupo, Wanganui, New Plymouth, Hamilton, Tauranga, Whitianga, Coromandel, Auckland, Northland, Kaitaia. You could have gone anywhere, but you chose to come here, and we are so thankful. Then thank you so much for coming. That's all I can.
This is a great point that you've just raised there. When I think Otago, I think Dunedin, but I wonder if the survey included
Queenstown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just said that. I presumed it was Dunedin, but it's Otago, so it
probably is Queenstown.
Yeah, there you go.
It's hard to have a bad time in Queenstown. All right, one more quick break, and then we'll be back with another half-baked sports idea.
Half-baked sports idea.
Forgot to do this one yesterday. We traditionally do this on a Wednesday, but someone had sent this one into my DMs. Dylan Wood sent this in.
Oh, Woody.
And it was good. Yeah, Woody sent this one in. It was a good one, so I thought I'd run it past you. Lane, with all the changes helping batsmen recently, I thought of a rule change. This is Dylan Wood. To help bowlers for once in Test cricket. Allow ball tampering. The only catch, you can't tamper with your first new ball, only the second new ball onwards. I presume it means first ball. Only when you get the second new ball can you start tampering with it.
So after 80 overs.
Yes. This will mean that when the conditions aren't helping much and the batsmen are dominating, the bowler can get a little extra assistance to help them out. Plus, it would be cool to see more bowlers getting some wicked swing late in the day. Another slight variation, the bowling team could opt for a second new ball, or they get to start tampering the old ball, you know? So they hit 80. It's like, would you like the new ball, or would you like to just fuck this one up?
It's not a bad idea. But there's going to have to be some rules around how you tamper with the ball and what you use to tamper with the ball. I think it still needs to be your either fingernails or teeth. It can't be a product like sandpaper or anything else or bottle tops. I reckon there's still got to be an element of like animal kind of getting your nails on it. Or there's one person on the team who gets their nails in there and spits in it. Because what they used to do is once they rough the surface up of one side of a cricket ball, the idea then is to get as much moisture into the ball through those crevices and those cracks.
Yeah.
So, because obviously if you create more surface area on one side of the ball, obviously it's going to swing. But if you can add some saliva and weight to that side of the ball, that's when it fucking really hoops.
Yeah, right.
So if you could still do that, and like someone's in the slips scratching it and licking it, I'm all for it. But no sandpaper or bottle tops or that kind of stuff. I reckon that's when it starts to get, someone will have an angle grinder out there and just So I'm all for it. You'd have to be pretty strict on it's second ball. You can either use it as a new ball or you can doctor it.
What about and then you can't use anything that you wouldn't otherwise be allowed to get. Like, you're still not allowed to bring sandpaper on.
No.
What about the spikes on your boots? No?
No, I think it has to come from your body, like nails, teeth, tongue, saliva, tears. You know, there has to be bodily fluids and nothing artificial. No spikes.
Yeah.
You can't go down on the concrete when it hits for four and grab it a rub. You can't get your helmet full Henry Nichols style and slash it on your helmet.
Yeah.
It's just got to come from your body.
Because I was going to say that my only issue with this would it be too much assistance to the bowler, and then once you hit 80 overs, you're fucked and you're all going to get out. But the Australians literally used sandpaper, and they weren't doing that. They weren't just cleaning people out.
No,
so.
you still got to. I think you've still got to be fairly handy.
Plus, also, if it's out in the open, you know that they're doing it, so you know it's about to swing like a motherfucker.
Yeah, it's true though, because batters have got the advantage these days. The bats and everything. I mean, it's great to watch massive sixes, but it's quite bit of a de-shrink of being a bowler these days because I suppose if you're used to getting hit for sixes, when I was growing up, getting hit for a six was the ultimate humiliation.
Yeah.
But now, obviously, fast bowlers, the world's best bowlers in the world are getting smashed for sixes and T20s, and they kind of just move on.
Get carted all the time, yeah. So I think it's a good idea. Dylan, thank you very much for that. He signed off saying, love your work, love the pod. Sorry, I'm a battler who couldn't get the iHeartRadio mic to work and went for the DM route instead.
Well, you got to be logged in to iHeartRadio to use the which is pretty easy. It's basically an email address.
Yeah. To
log in, and you can use that one there. Hey, we had a multi-bet yesterday. I went for a four-way under 19 bet, which is on cricket, by the
over
way.
18.
Yeah, over 18. Yeah. Did it come in, Adam? I haven't got my phone with me.
Yeah, so I've a little bit of digging here.
Yes.
How confident are you to start
I'm pretty
with?
confident. I'm pretty confident.
It came in?
It came in.
Yes.
Yeah, it came in. So
Bain 270. There you go.
yeah, so we've returned $177 back into the kitty just to start it off after we got a good win a couple of weeks ago, right? So
Yeah.
we emptied that out,
$600.
shared it to people, and we go again. So good start to the puntine, and
Absolutely. Well, that's the thing. I've gone full missionary on my first few punts because I do a tip on Hodaki as well. And last week I tipped the Auckland Aces to win the Super Smash. And they were only paying like $1.70, but they won. And so I've started
Did that
off.
pay out, did it?
Yeah, they won.
Yeah, sure.
And then so I'm going to start the year with just some good missionary, just lights out sports between the sports news and the weather, just because I can't start out hot.
You want to fill the kitty?
Yeah, I got to fill the kitty, and then
You want a couple of kitty fillers?
Yeah. Excuse me.
Just a couple of little
Kitty
fillers.
fillers. Oh, okay. Yeah, kitty fillers. Yeah. So there you go. So that one's come off. So look, once it hits 1,000, then we dole it out again. We already doled it out once already. So
Yeah. Oh, mate, we're making people rich.
I'm picking we're going to go well in this Test series against South Africa,
Yes.
gambling wise, and result wise.
Oh, result-wise.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's going to be much value in certainly the head-to-head market. Surely we'd be very short odds to win these games.
Oh no, I think I'm talking power plays.
Yeah.
Bay
High
Oval though, not a happy hunting ground for New Zealand in the past. Obviously,
Right.
we lost the Bangers there.
Yeah.
And the Bangers won their first ever Test match in New Zealand at Bay Oval.
Yeah.
But we better, it will be interesting. That kicks off on Sunday.
Interesting to see. I'm looking forward to that one kicking off on Sunday as well. I reckon we knocked this one on the head today, and we'll be back tomorrow for a Friday edition of The Agenda. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast. For more episodes, subscribe on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.